Atlantis ISS, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We're ready for the event.
JSC PAO, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Atlantis ISS for a voice check.
Atlantis ISS, this is Johnson Space Center PAO. How do you hear me?
Hello, Johnson Space Center. We have you loud and clear on the International Space Station.
Good morning. This is Eric Berger with Houston Chronicle. Congratulations on such a great mission so far. There's been a lot of talk about last during this flight, and I want to ask about a first. Specifically, do any of the crew members of Atlantis plan to stick around with NASA to fly on the MPCV, or is that something that is a bit too far in the future? Thank you.
Well, I think if you asked any one of us, we would love a shot at flying another vehicle. So definitely, you know, and we've got opportunities prior to that. You know, we've got multiple flights to the International Space Station. You know, we're going to crew this beautiful complex for the next 10 years plus. So there's plenty of opportunities to fly, and I don't see any reason why not stay and see what happens. It's a real bright future.
Good morning, Ted Oberg from Channel 13 here in Houston. Great to talk with you guys. I'm curious, what have you done in your downtime on this mission to make sure that you capture some of these last moments? What things have you made sure you saw out the windows or done with the shuttle? Tell us a little bit about how you've spent your downtime.
Well, for me, I had a chance to look out the cupola, which is a great window, and we can see the aurora australis, the southern lights. We all kind of crowded around and got to see that, and just savoring every minute of floating in space. And then once in a while, when you're on Atlantis, at the end of the day, you kind of look around the middeck and think of all the guys and women who were there before you and who had a part in the space program, and you think, wow, this is the last flight. So it does cross your mind once in a while.
Good morning. This is John Donnelly with Fox 26 here in Houston also, and I'm passing along a question from one of our viewers. She wants to know, what will the astronauts be able to take from the last trip, and will you have a job when you get back on Earth?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Johnson Space Center, although we're reaching the end of the space shuttle program, is still a vibrant place to work. There'll be a transitional period here as we hand over a lot of the responsibilities for going to low Earth orbit to our commercial providers. But this is an opportunity for us to look beyond low Earth orbit and perhaps back to the moon or to an asteroid where we'd like to travel to soon. So there'll be plenty of work in the Houston area.
Good morning, Mark Carreau from Aviation Week, and my question's for Sandy. Could you describe for us the pace of the activities the past week and just what it will take to wrap up the restow before you undock? Thanks.
Well, Mark, the pace has been very, very busy. Just right when we hit orbit, doing post-insertion with 4 people was really challenging. We were working really hard right up to bedtime. We had a little bit on flight day 2, but since we docked a station, we've been working quite a bit. I think we're getting ahead now, so hopefully the rest of the pace of the mission will slow down a bit and we can actually savor the moment a little bit more than we've been able to until now.
Hi, morning. This is Denise Chow at space.com. My question's for Commander Chris Ferguson. Having the opportunity to fly in space and spend time on the ISS, you and your crewmates have a unique perspective of our planet. And for those of us on Earth, I was wondering what message you would have for why it's important to continue exploration, particularly manned exploration beyond low Earth orbit.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, first of all, you really don't get a firm appreciation for just what a fantastic place it is until you've had an opportunity to look out of the cupola. Just over the last couple nights, we've had some incredibly dramatic passes that have that showed the southern lights, just a vibrant green color, and there was a tremendous picture taken last night with a silhouette of the International Space Station and the space shuttle in the background. And there is, I'll tell you, there's a little part of everybody who looks at something like that and says, I cannot believe we're here. This is absolutely fantastic. We absolutely must continue this. And we must go beyond, and we must go back to lunar orbit and perhaps to an asteroid. We need to continue pushing on. We need to press technology. And, you know, humans are destined to explore, and this is what we do, and we need to continue.
Gina Sinceri, ABC News for Mike Fossum. Mike, we thought we heard you trying to whistle before your spacewalk on Tuesday. Tell me a little bit about that and why you couldn't whistle. And then when you're done, I'd like you to whistle a tune for me.
I'll pass the second half of your question to my spacewalk buddy, Ron Guerin. Ron and I were both doing a little whistling in the airlock. It's just one of the strange phenomena where as the pressure is dropping in the airlock, our suit is just, you know, a little over 4 pounds of pressure. And once this air pressure inside the airlock goes down goes down to zero, then your overall pressure is down low. And I think it has to do with the density of the air, but I really can't explain a lot about probably the resonant frequency of the cavity of your mouth as you're blowing the air through it like that. And so it's kind of interesting. Nobody, I mean, we can all whistle, you know, in normal, and Ron will do the tune, but as it's one of the things that you can physically use to just take a look and appreciate the fact that that things are changing. You can feel the air that you're breathing in is different. It's a lower density, and you can tell that. We have a card, kind of a procedure card in the airlock, and you can wave that back and forth. And as you do, you can feel less resistance on it as the air pressure is dropping. The whistling is just something else to have a little fun with, where you try not to think about what's going on.
Now Ron's got a whistle.
This is Jill Tolk representing Bay Area Houston Magazine. A two-part question for Fergie and Ron. Since each of you has connections to Pennsylvania, what personal Earth obs of that state have each of you made during your respective flights? And Fergie, have you seen the east coast of Australia through the cupola yet?
Oh, gosh, Jill. First of all, how are you doing? You know, I wish we had enough time to look out the window. We did catch a little look at Philadelphia, the Philadelphia, New York, the Philadelphia, New York area. We passed over there. I think it was the evening of Flight Day 2, and we had a chance to look out. And have we passed off the east coast of Australia? Yes, absolutely we have, and I think that's one of the opportunities we have to take a look at the southern lights, but I really didn't have an opportunity to do a whole lot of coastal searching, if you will, to find out exactly where we were. And I'll turn it over to Ron.
Well, Sasha and Andre and I have been here 101 days today, but who's counting? And so we've had a lot of opportunities to look out the window, a lot of opportunities to see our unbelievably beautiful Earth. And yes, I've had the opportunity to see Pennsylvania. I've taken some pictures of one of my favorite places in the world, where I spent the happiest day of my life over 20 years ago, getting married in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I've definitely have some great pictures of that area of Pennsylvania, that really beautiful area of Pennsylvania.
Hi, this is Robert Perlman with CollectSpace.com with a question for Rex. There's a tradition among shuttle crews to leave their mark, their mission patch, on various walls of the space station. Can you share where you and your crewmates plan to leave your emblem? And will you be adding any other commemorative mementos or emblems to signify this is the last space shuttle to visit the ISS?
Yes, they do have a place where we leave the patches and our stickers, and we're going to leave our patch probably in Node 1, and we should leave a sticker in the airlock, because we consider ourselves one big team here with the shuttle and the station, and we all executed the spacewalk. It was Mike and Ron, the great guys who went outside and did that spacewalk, but we all helped them, and so we'd like to put one of our mission stickers in the airlock. In regards to other things that we're leaving up here, I'll let Fergie, if you have any other additions.
Sure, we can talk about it. Yeah. Yes, we do have a special item we're going to leave behind in what hopefully is a very thought-provoking and emotional farewell ceremony that we have as the space shuttle prepares to leave the International Space Station for the final time. And I would just ask you to perhaps hold on until that moment, and you'll get a look at what we have in store.
Atlantis ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes questions from the Johnson Space Center. Please stand by for a voice check from Kennedy Space Center, PAO.
Atlantis ISS, this is Kennedy Space Center, PAO. How do you hear me?
Hello, Kennedy Space Center. We have you loud and clear.
Magazine. I was wondering if you could highlight some of the scientific experiments that you're working on the International Space Station that you think will particularly inspire the public back here on Earth.
Well, that's an excellent question. You know, we've had a permanent human presence on the International Space Station for over a decade now, and over that time we've conducted over 600 scientific experiments. And you know, one of the things that we're trying to do is to see how humans can go further in exploration, go beyond Earth orbit, explore our solar system. But nearly all of the experiments that we conduct have a direct application on Earth, from growing crops better to making new materials, new medicines. We had some very significant research in the development of a vaccine for salmonella, studying our Earth, learning how learning about the human impact on the environment, how the inner core of the Earth works, and possibly lead to better ways to predict earthquakes, better automobile safety, better energy efficiency, fuel efficiency. So the list goes on and on and on. It's just amazing, the research that's being conducted up here. And that's because this is a very, very unique environment. The research that's being conducted up here simply cannot be done anywhere else in the world. And so that's why this is such an important research facility, and this is really a global asset, the International Space Station.